Greetings everyone, John Greenwood here with a CCPEM Critical Care Quickie. So I was walking by a patient room with one of the residents the other day, and this was a young gentleman on pressors with septic shock who we were trying to figure out whether or not we could come down on his vasoactives with a little bit of fluid resuscitation. So I had him take a look at the monitor and asked him, I said, hey, what do you think? Think this guy would be volume responsive? And he took a look at the monitor and looked at me and said, well, yeah, look at his A-line. The tracing swinging up and down. He has pretty significant pulse pressure variation, which would suggest he's volume responsive. So take a look at the video and see what you think. All right. Now that A-line is moving up and down, but that isn't pulse pressure variation. It's a very important distinction. What he was actually seeing was systolic pressure variation. Now, systolic pressure variation can be used as a measure of volume responsiveness. In fact, if you take a look here and you do the math, his peak systolic pressure on inspiration, end inspiration, was 132, and his minimum systolic pressure at end expiration was about 113. So that gives us a delta of about 19 millimeters of mercury. Now, systolic pressure variation can be used to predict volume responsiveness. In fact, if it's greater than 15 millimeters of mercury, where the patient's not breathing spontaneously and tidal volumes are 8 to 10 cc's per kilo ideal body weight, you do get an area under the curve about 0.86, which means it's actually pretty good. So what we did was we gave this patient some volume, and sure enough, he came down on his levofed by about half. So, important distinction, systolic pressure variation as opposed to pulse pressure variation. Well, that's it for me. Until next time, guys, see you back on ccpem.com.